All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another match as part of the Super Metroid Randomizer multi-category tournament. Uh, this time we've got an exciting matchup: tonytyoung versus mrddraig. I'm Glove, and I'm joined by Idlechild. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for joining the comps team today.
Yeah, happy to be here. This should be a pretty neat matchup. Tony T. Young is definitely known more for SMZ3, but definitely a skilled SM runner as a result. Um, mrddraig, been a long time organizer for a lot of things, has run just like a million games if you check out his SRC page, including, of course, Super Metroid. So, should be cool to see. This week we've got Chozo with vanilla area, but we do have boss rando. So it's a pretty movement heavy, fairly vanilla adjacent randomizer setting. So it should be interesting to see. A lot of execution tests.
Oh, for sure. And it also can favor the meme route a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if the runners, first of all, get that early power bomb pack, and secondly, if they choose to take that. It could be a bit of a risk though, with those side hoppers doing a ton of damage going that direction.
Absolutely. Assuming you're at full health and you don't pick up any E-tanks, you can take one hit from those side hoppers.
And since it is vanilla, not area rando, you don't just get to run through that door.
Yeah. Yeah, so really, unless our runners pick up supers and power bombs, meme route's not a viable option.
Yeah, that's true. You really want to have supers potentially to kill the enemies, but also just don't want to get stuck going the meme route.
Yeah, and there's really no point in doing it if then you have to skip Spore Spawn.
Right. Yeah, that is the whole benefit of it, because the waterway is not a Chozo item. That if you have the power bombs and supers, you can get all of the Chozo statues on the way up, but not if you're missing supers.
Alright, and we do start with missiles, the least appealing item.
At least there will only be one other Chozo statue with pistols on it.
Yeah, that's true. For those unfamiliar, the way that Chozo works essentially is it takes all the items that are at Chozo statue locations and shuffles them around, as well as adding boss items into that pool. So boss items being Varia behind Kraid, Ridley E-Tank, Space Jump behind Dragon, and right side Wreck Ship supers, just to help balance out Wreck Ship, because Wreck Ship is not super ideal in Chozo.
Yeah, that's correct. Even the gravity item does not count. That location does not count as a Chozo item, although it doesn't get left out. If we had just left it at boss items, we'd have 3 missiles on a Chozo and gravity somewhere random. That would not be any good. So those 3 missile packs are swapped out for gravity.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Morphall stays on its original pedestal. Looks like no supers, both runners choosing to not do that meme route.
Yeah, I agree with this. You can argue, like, there's a fairly high chance you'll find supers, but it's not high enough for my taste. For how little of a difference it actually ends up being, and it does end up being fairly significant in Chozo, specifically going meme route, but even still, you're risking just putting yourself a couple minutes behind or skipping one of the major items in the big major item hub.
Yep, and since we don't have all those 14 E-Tanks, 4 reserves in the majors, it's a relatively small number of miners involved. The Chozo items are usually more valuable.
Yeah, I believe it's roughly 50-50 on getting an item that will, like, either give you progression or pretty significantly help you.
So next stop is going to be 230 missiles.
Yeah, this is one of the easier locations to forget if you're not used to Chozo. And we do find an E-Tank, so this is probably a good time to mention one of the interesting quirks with Chozo, Randomizer specifically, is it basically expects you to beat the game only with items you find on Chozo statues. So hell runs are not in logic unless you have enough E-Tanks available to you at Chozo statues.
And one of the interesting things with that is it will put the, how do I say this? If you get enough energy to make a hell run in logic at like the highest difficulty, then that's good enough. And then there may be some extra energy tanks. Actually, not maybe. There will be extra energy tanks as minor items that can help lower that
Mm-hmm.
difficulty. So it's never going to put a mania trick in. Like I want to say the crystal flash clip to get to Batuun is considered mania difficulty, I think, or it's higher than typical settings, so it won't be required. But a 3-tank hell run from Bubble Mountain or from Business Center to Bubble Mountain could be required if all you got were Chozo items. Of course, these runners are taking some detours to get those minor items. I believe at least one of the energy tanks, if not two of the energy tanks, have been minor items so far.
I think too, yeah. And we also, because of that scroll attack, we are presented with a really nice opportunity here to clear out Gauntlet. I generally always like Gauntlet when you can check it, but in Chozo especially, it becomes significantly more valuable.
Agreed. Very valuable in Chozo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just another one of those orphaned checks, that
Yeah.
you don't have to leave this one behind. We know it can't
Mm.
be a suit, so it's not going to be a huge payoff, but I mean, if it's high jump, I mean, that's really helpful for lower Norfair. It's helpful just in general.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
doesn't have to
honestly,
be a suit.
especially with screw attack here, if it were like wave beam, I'd be happy. Or like bombs. Bombs are super convenient, especially in the early game when you only have those 5 power bombs.
Absolutely. Not gonna have to worry about big pink if the runners want to check more minor items. And without bombs, I tend to be picking up power bombs up until I get to about 30. So now with bombs, you might not need more than 10 or 15.
Yeah. I like 15 just for having the option to crystal flash for reasons, especially once I have bombs.
Yeah.
But crystal flash clip, as you mentioned, is never going to be in logic. But it can help you out a lot in certain situations.
It's also really helpful for if we don't find ice for the Metroids at the end. To get to 15.
Yeah, you basically need 15, or you are very likely to have to refill at ship.
A lot of missiles. A lot of missiles and energy tanks. It's sometimes hard to read what the logic wants when it gives you all those energy tanks early. It doesn't always mean that you need a hell run.
Yeah, and I don't know that I approve of mrddraig skipping that missile, because it is the rule. If you forget it, or if you remember to skip it once, you're not going to remember to skip it the second time.
That's an excellent point. That is the easiest one to run into.
Yeah, the bane of GT Max players everywhere. So, something that you're not going to be used to seeing if you've only watched Major, Minor, and full races. These runners are very likely about to completely skip the Etekun's area. There's nothing of value there. Ooh, there's something of value here, though, with high jump
Yeah,
boots.
that's a good find.
I
Wasn't
don't
in
know
Gauntlet,
about...
but it's here.
Yeah, mrddraig being really aggressive, not even picking up a second power bomb pack.
Yeah, I would definitely be going for both that one and the other one the runners flew by earlier. Still no supers. Is it going to be one of those seeds? Is the seed expecting Spore Spawn fight for first supers?
Okay, so I guess mrddraig decided 10 power bombs is the ideal number. 10 and no more.
Maybe he would have picked those other ones up if he'd been thinking about it.
Yeah, or he just really hated the reserve tank.
Oh, that could be. That could be. But I mean, they might need that. No Varia yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking up every tank until I find Varia. But then again, the hell runs are not my strong suit, so I can certainly see other runners taking a different approach.
Yeah, so Mr. Drag has 2 rolls here to get a super pack. First one comes up empty. And Tony finds the supers in Big Pink. So
I was just gonna say, I wonder why Mr. Drag is going down here, but you're
Mhm.
probably right. It's probably for the supers.
yeah, I understand this play. I think I would generally check Big Pink first and then come back here to Edacoons if it were such a big deal. Especially with a screw attack, it doesn't take that much time to get through the core room. But yeah, I totally understand this. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything for Mr. Drag. And that's at least a solid minute of time lost there.
Yep. Calculated risk.
Mm-hmm.
Just another
And another
E-tank.
E-tank. So
Yep.
we're getting close to critical mass for Hell Runs.
If my memory serves me correctly, I played a seed that gave me a whole bunch of E-tanks, and then it gave me Varia, and then I think it expected you to do like lower Norfair without gravity, and that was why it wanted to give you all the extra E-tanks to make that easier or something like that. So it's maybe it wants a hell run, maybe it just wants to make life easier. It's hard to say.
Yeah. At this point, personally, I would be willing to commit to Hell Runs. Say, it's just as likely that there's an E-tank in Wreck Ship to put Hell Runs in Logic, as it is that there's an item in Wreck Ship that provides progression.
Oh, agreed. And as you already mentioned, the wreck ship just isn't as appetizing in these settings. Although I wonder if the runners are at least going to check alpha power bombs before heading back down, since that's not too far out of the way.
Yeah, I think that's a really powerful play. And Mr. Drag doing this is not a major item. It is an E-tank though, pretty nice.
At least with screw attack, it's easier to kill those enemies, but
Mm-hmm.
a little out of the way.
Yeah, I mean that's 4 door transitions plus traversing through a not super friendly room. Yeah, hopefully we'll see if Mr. Drag is going for. All right, going to attempt this again. It's not anything of note here. However, skipping this item really feels bad. Yeah.
Yeah, especially
That's going to be
Chozo.
something. It's going to be something on Mr. Drag's mind the whole time. Like, and if one of our suits is in a really remote location, this is going to be something Mr. Drag has to come back to. He is lining up for attempts. Has 8 more attempts here. There are a couple different positions you can do to get this.
There we go.
And there we go. Nice. And that's Speed Booster at Alpha Power Bombs. We already have high jump boots, so movement's going to feel crisp and clean. Like, give our runners Varia, and LN is comfy cozy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Don't need space jump when you got screw attack to plow through the enemies anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Tony taking a save? Do you think he's going to make an X-ray play here?
God, I hope so.
I have not figured out the early X-ray deboost trick yet. I can kind of do the first one. I tend to die before I even attempted the second one.
Yeah, so early X-ray is one of those tricks where it's impossible, but then once you learn it, you discover there's actually a lot of play in it. You just need to discover where you can be looser with your timing and where you need to be pretty specific. But no, Tony is actually going up. He can just short charge here to get across moat. So that
reasonable
shouldn't
play
be an issue.
to save here instead of saving later. If it's a boss you can't defeat, he'll already be ready to go back down the tower.
Yeah, I actually kind of don't like peeking this boss. I think you're spending multiple minutes just to get information. Like, if it's Fantoon, that's great. But there's a Maniacal just posted the math in chat the other day. I think like a 21% chance that this would be Fantoon.
And Fantoon could end up being a troll if it encourages you to check wreck ship. I mean, at least you'll be able to check
Yeah.
right side supers, but you may not want to check the rest of the ship.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So the only way it really helps is if it's Kraid. Although even then, since this isn't major minor, it's not like it unlocks an extra Kraid item at the bottom. It's just going to unlock the item behind the boss here.
Yeah. So I'm really off of wreck ship.
It will help. The information will help if it is Dragon.
Mhm.
Then you know Lore Norfair is wide open as long as you get ammo to kill Ridley or charge plasma or something. This is a reasonable play. Yeah, it's kind of a toss up.
Mhm.
It's probably a lower percentage play, but it could really work out too. So,
And it
This
is
fancy.
vanilla. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. And both of our runners are actually going up. So Tony isn't necessarily getting an advantage off this, but nor is he getting a disadvantage. Although I'm looking at mrddraig's super count or the lack thereof.
oh
And
man, maybe you go to the ship here to refill.
yeah,
he has to, right? I mean, unless
he
there
could
just
do
happens
that,
to be
or the other thing he could do is he could farm the Ripper outside of wrecked ship and just farm it a couple times. But that
that's true,
risks
'cause it
falling
has-
into the moat.
because at
Or
least he has
the-
screw attack for that. But yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't even think about that because normally you're trading a super for a super.
Yeah, I don't think it's a better play here than just going to the ship, especially since you get to save anyway.
True. And now you got plenty of supers.
Hmm.
It's going to help you the rest of the fights as well.
Was that a fast?
I wasn't even watching the patterns, to be honest. It seemed like a pretty quick fight. I'll believe it.
It was at least a something fast. Might have been a mid fast.
Yeah,
or
I
a
don't think the
fast,
first
mid,
pattern.
fast.
I don't think the first pattern was a fast, but
But yeah, and got all his shots in nicely. A good Fantoon is nothing to sneeze at for sure. Like, it is much better to be able to get in that missile every time and get a 3-round than have a 2-round available to you, but sometimes you're just letting the ghost disappear. I'm definitely guilty of that.
I'm just guilty of not Dopplering well enough. I'm always rushing the missiles. Usually end up having to 4-round. Oh!
Wow!
The low percentage play pays off. Because that, I mean, we were talking about maybe wasting time checking the rest of Wreck Ship, but no, we don't have to check the rest of Wreck Ship.
Yeah, I totally understand just leaving here.
Oh, absolutely. With so many Chozo statues in Upper Norfair, and a
Yeah.
couple bosses down there. Choosing to check this Chozo as well.
Yeah, no save here. I think going saveless is actually perfectly fine without Varya. You're probably... I think saving here has a negative expected value if you have Varya, since you're not worried about losing a bunch of health. And especially in Chozo, chances are fair that there's something here you want to keep.
Those are great points. I forgot the Varia reduces the damage of that room. I was just... But the room is so deadly. He does have 5 E-tanks, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Good
and Tony
point
just turns off high jump boots. That's the easiest way to do this room. Oh, just a missile, unfortunately. But yeah, I've definitely seen people be in situations where they do the save before wrecked ship E, and then they find maybe wave beam, and they have to be like, do I keep this?
Oh, and then you start walking back and forth.
Yeah. And the more time you spend thinking and doing nothing, that's just time wasted. So I mean, the way that I try to keep almost a juvenile sort of decision mindset with randos, where I want to find the simplest possible strategy and get good at that as possible because I don't want to think during my races. So I like stuff like, oh, I don't want to worry about the save scum, I can just jump back.
Only choosing to continue on, which there is only. You can get that last Chozo item out of the way. It's just going to require a bowling trip, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So far, these decisions have been paying off.
Oh, Tony.
That was very nicely executed.
Yeah, Attic's a fun room.
Mr. Drake will finish up his fight and he's going to find that Varia. We'll see what he chooses to do after this.
Yeah. So, an interesting thing with all these E-tanks, if Dragon is not vanilla, then Tony can do Dragon using Crystal Flash to get a spike suit. And I believe at this point there is a 1 in 3 chance that Dragon is vanilla, since there's a less than 1 in 3 chance that Dragon is vanilla.
Less likely because you already seen one vanilla boss. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, at least 2 bosses are swapped, and it's possible that 3 have been rotated around. 1 in 5. Okay, thank you. So you can actually end up in a pretty awkward situation where you're like, okay, I can go against Dragon, but I have no good way to damage down.
Because you've got no grapple.
Right. Alright, what do we got for our troubles? Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. What is the scene?
This is why I'm always saying in Chozo, you go straight up wreck ship and you full clear it every time.
But everybody in chat remembers Bob saying about 5 minutes ago, right?
Shoutouts to Kip for saying literally like 2 minutes ago, this is one of those seeds where I full clear wreck ship and chat yells at me.
How did you know?
Yeah, fair enough. Sometimes both suits are here. So yeah, if we get charged, this is go mode. Or if we get enough ammo.
We probably need at least one beam to go with that charge.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a cozy go mode.
I suppose with 6 tanks and a reserve, the Mother Brain fight would be a little bit more reasonable, but still, that's what, a 300 shot Mother Brain fight?
300 minus the ammos you have, yeah. So, if we say 1510, then that's 3,000 plus 500, so 3,500 off of that.
This is definitely go mode for Ridley.
Yeah, we're left with 12,500 damage. Divide by 60.
The Mother Brain fight would be bad.
208 shots, okay. Assuming you don't miss anything and you pre-open doors. I wouldn't do that personally.
No. The Ridley fight you can almost get by with power bombs and missile supers you got. You might need a few charge shots. It wouldn't be too bad.
And Tony isn't going for the X-ray deboost method here. Just going to brute force it with these high jump boots and speed. It's probably of similar timing compared to having to pause twice to take off all your items.
Spacer.
There's a beam.
Yeah, that's not a bad find, especially if the runners find charge.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a much better.
Yeah,
Still a little
Spacer's
slow, but
Spacer's probably most notable in how it powers up other beams. Like, just charged Spacer is not ideal.
definitely not ideal. But I'd feel a lot more comfortable having to do the Motherbrain fight with this and the health
Mm-hmm.
than just the charge beam.
Certainly. But yeah, this is one of those seeds where I think you can definitely make an argument for ammo hunt. However, the fact that we've already cleared Rex ship means that the rest of the Chozos, for the most part, are on path. So there's only a couple ugly places charge can be, so are you banking that charge is at Shack Tool Plasma? Even if charge is at Plasma, I think you might still come out ahead going for charge hunt.
Yeah, it's just a few locations, Croc, and those Meridia locations.
Yeah, agreed.
Like
I would like ammo until 30 supers. I'm certainly not saying completely abandon the idea of
Oh,
finding
absolutely.
ammo, but I wouldn't be doing door transitions to get ammo.
Seems like unlike some rat settings, these settings just you rarely find enough supers to make the ammo hunt. Like by the time you've completed your ammo hunt, you've found charge. All right, we're gonna get a peek at a second boss.
I agree with chat. I kind of don't like this.
Oh, get this on the way out.
Yeah. Because, like, you can farm right before LN.
Yeah, you're right, because
easier.
you'd have more ammo. You need a little bit more
Mhm.
ammo. Well, I guess you don't. Yeah, they do need more ammo because they don't have charge yet. We keep talking like they're going to get charge.
Yeah, it might be doable with power bombs. I hate power bomb math. But regardless, by the time you get through Bubble Mountain, you're almost certainly going to have 30 supers.
Yep.
8 ammo packs, that would be a little less than a minute. However, that is just fanfare.
It is Ridley. Oh.
Yeah.
Choosing not to take it on. I think he had the ammo if he wanted to use a bunch of power bombs. It would have been risky.
I'm not sure, because how many supers did he have? I don't think he had full.
He wasn't at full. Okay.
Yeah. So I think he had maybe like.
Oh, and he's very low
16.
on missiles too. I didn't see how low on missiles he was. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the capacities, not the actual counts.
14, okay. That's definitely not enough, yeah. And there's no reason to spend a lot of time farming to get it now. It's just a couple rooms later. So yeah, if mrddraig does decide to go straight down, he's going to make up a lot of time here.
Scaring me a bit. Laying going so far to the right with that roll, that power bomb for breaking the tube open.
Yeah, it almost feels like one of those things where once that's happened to somebody recently, every single time you see somebody break a tube, you're like, oh, is it going to happen again? It's like I remember. It was a couple years ago, SMRAT 2020 or 2021, whatever the most recent one was. In one of the early races, MM2 soft lock doing a speedless speedway, and I was terrified of that trick for weeks.
Still terrified of that trick. That one scares me a little bit. At least with the Meridia tube soft lock, you almost have to be trying for the to break in order to run the risk. If you just lay the power bomb and then you start running out the door and you don't change any of your inputs, you will never soft lock. Oh, geez, there's charge.
Yeah.
So now we're in go mode. Oh no, we're in complete go mode. We got speed too. We got everything.
So here's the question: do you check speed and wave here? Yeah.
Well,
Ice, wave, and plasma all make your life easier.
know that I would with all this help that they have. I mean, you have to find both plasma and X-ray in order to get microwave ability.
Yeah, Space Jump 2 can save time.
I mean, I suppose at least each of those checks comes with a minor check as well, and if it's supers, that's still going to be helpful.
Yeah.
Maybe you would. You check it on the way out, so it's not really that far out of your way or anything. Ooh.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tony was just a little bit late on that gravity jump. Didn't get the velocity he needed.
Let's see if he got the jump off this time. Yeah, that one looked a little bit overcorrected there.
Tony's crouching because it makes you feel like you get more height here.
Technically get more height, right? Just not anything significant.
No, because Tony then runs forward and spin jumps.
Right.
He's not crouching by the time he jumps.
Good point.
But it feels like you, that those imaginary 8 pixels really count.
With gravity jump, those 8 pixels don't usually do much anyway.
So, mrddraig decided to make a pretty bold play in skipping high jump boots. Just doing the Croc Speedway route. No, yes, I am aware that 8 pixels can be necessary, but here you're not actually getting them.
Yeah, generally the runners aren't going to be going for a trick where that 8 pixels on the gravity jump is going to make any difference.
Unless you run low ice. I hate that gravity jump. I'm pretty sure there's no way to do what mrddraig was trying to do there.
Correct. You need the gravity-less physics.
Yeah, and to address chat, yeah, I would expect both these runners to skip GT. They're both in, well, mrddraig's not in go mode. Even still, GT's a long check.
He's going to skip high jump. I mean...
Yeah. I like the efficiency of the routing. If he had done high jump and then ice, that would have been pretty rad. Yeah, and it looks like he is checking it. I wonder if he forgot about high jump.
Ooh, that would be really unfortunate.
It's possible it's also one of those things where he started doing Croc Speedway and he was like, oh no, high jump. But at that point, you just commit.
Yep. At least you know you can get high jump on the way back.
Yeah, I also agree. I don't like the safe scum here when you have speed and high jump. You can get out pretty quickly. And you get a pretty convenient super refill here.
wonder if even the bomb escape would be faster.
I believe it is either faster or time neutral. It's close. Yeah, and unfortunately mrddraig has some trouble with that green gate glitch. If you don't get green gate glitch right away, it can be really hard to fall back into the rhythm of it. Nice attempted golden shower strats there. I don't know if any of them hit. That was a good spark. Tony needs to be cognizant of his health here, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't spark at this point.
I mean, it does look like Dragon needs one more spark, though. But at least he screw attack jumped through Dragon there. That was good.
Yeah, as soon as you're like supplementing the fight in unusual ways with damage, sparking into Dragon becomes kind of risky. All right, thanks, Seb. Good point. And like, even if you don't get hit with chain damage, sparking does still lower your health.
Yeah.
Like, not to state the obvious, but that means that you have to finish the fight with lower health.
And even with screw attack, we still got to get out of Lower Norfair. It's not free.
That's true. I totally forgot this isn't Lower Norfair.
It's a good super missile find. I guess Tony didn't check that? I guess he's got charged. That's why he's not checking it.
Would be nice to have here right now, though. I know I just talked about how it puts you at lower health, but I would kind of like to see some pseudo screw strats here. That's most.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I was worried he was going to go for a spike suit. That's not necessary. I wasn't sure what he was doing. That's a good find.
Yeah.
And it's good for damage output too, for the final fights.
Yes, this beam is decent.
Just wondering, like, Drag, since he knows it's not Ridley, I think he could. Having a little few more supers would help. It can be really annoying farming with screw attack. You'd think it'd be really easy.
Yeah.
These bugs, they can really troll you. It's not as easy as it looks, in my opinion. At least not without practicing it.
Yeah. So I would have actually thought about Now, probably the best spot. Tell you what would be kind of interesting. On the way out, you go up to speed location, farm supers there so you can have a better Ridley fight, and then check the item.
Oh.
Because where else are you getting supers?
Yeah, maybe he was counting on getting that gate glitch so he could have farmed some supers on the way out.
Looked like Tony was about to check Fireflies, then remembered. That's
oh,
not
I have everything.
Yeah, well, it's not a Chozo location, so it doesn't actually give you anything here. Could give you a health refill, which would be nice, but not worth the time, probably. I would check this minor item here, though. Yeah, I like this from Tony.
Yeah, that definitely
literally takes like a
seconds
second.
For a health refill, if that's what it had been. Agreed. Takes another super pack. Why not? We don't have plasma. Those supers will still be helpful. And with both speed and high jump, just don't wall jump. And you'll be fine. For some reason, when you wall jump, there's like some frames where the screw attack no longer fights off the enemies.
So what? Those are 2 Chozo locations, plus there's 1 Chozo location in Croc, and then 3 in Meridia left. So 2 in 6 chance of getting us a beam that would help us out.
I think with Ice Beam giving us this, well, you've got Speed Zep Skip as well, but now you've got multiple Zep Skip options, 30 supers, a little bit better output. I totally understand the decision to not check any more Chozos, except maybe the ones that are right behind the bosses. Even then, I'd understand skipping those.
Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. Why would you farm supers there when you have mini crate right here? That's a much better way to farm supers. And no missiles.
Maybe he'll take the crate refill. You can get both of those things up here.
I would hope so. Okay, yeah, he's just pre-opening the door, so he can have a full 30.
Yeah, it might be worth just refilling both. It's right there.
Yeah.
Maybe take one more crate farm here, mini crate farm. Yeah.
So 25 supers plus 30 missiles will kill Ridley. So this would still require power bombs or charge shots. This next one, though, he can do with just missiles and supers.
Well, he could do the ice phaser now to finish off the fight too.
Yeah.
Hard to say what
charge
this
was
becomes
high
faster
jump.
or not.
mrddraig was too enticed by Croc Speedway.
Hopefully he remembers to check it, especially since he's checking all these other Chozos. Guess we will get to see what's behind Wave Beam. Oh, come on. That's a great item. Where are you going? I can't approve of that. I'm sorry.
Ridley should be dead. Ridley's definitely dead.
Yeah.
It's okay, Tony.
He just wants the free explosion. I forgot he could go back into a pogo when he's dead like that.
Yeah.
And Mr. T-Drag always, at least he should notice he missed high jump here, right? On the menu? On the map? I'm not sure.
Wait, I didn't catch. I was too busy focused on the Ridley fight. Why did he pause?
I was as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
IRL stuff.
That's
really unfortunate. I don't really get Tony refilling missiles there. I understand the super refill.
Yeah, I agree. First pistol refill made sense. I guess I didn't realize he completely ran out of missiles, or was he just really low?
I think he pretty much ran out. Yeah, if you're refilling, you could just skip Batwoon. Personally, I would refill rather than skipping Batwoon, just because I'm a bit more familiar with the movement through these rooms the standard way.
I think with this much health, I'd probably go the other way. Just slog through that.
Guess that's what Tony's doing.
Yeah, I'm not even sure which way is faster. Not having space jump makes this route more annoying for sure.
Yeah. So if I have to ask which one's faster, then I figure it's close enough to just do the route that I've done 1,000 times in vanilla.
Yeah, but it's at the same time you don't have the ammo you normally have in vanilla. You don't have the.
Yeah.
It's not the same fight.
That is
Batwoon can
true.
be pretty slow if you're just firing charge shots at him. Mr. Drag, going for that ammo. I really hope he remembers high jump. It'd be especially strange to be doing all this ammo farming and leave high jump unchecked.
Yeah, unless he's just fully committing to ammo checks.
But even then, that's 2 ammo locations you're skipping, right?
That's true.
The only way he skips it is if he just thinks he already checked it. We'll find out. Okay. And on the door is red. That helps too. I definitely didn't check it. All right, we will have both of our runners in go mode really soon here. And with all those supers, really no need to even find a better beam.
Mm-hmm.
I remember where Spazer was that Mr. Drag doesn't have it.
I'm not sure.
Was it at ice? I thought he went to ice.
Oh, right, it was at X-Ray.
Oh, okay. That makes sense that he didn't have it then.
Nice backup, great quick kill.
Very nice. Not easy to time that.
Ooh.
That's worth getting.
At this point, I am certainly not bothering to look for wave. It makes baby skip faster, that's about it. It actually is it does change the Metroid rooms a bit if you don't have wave, but I don't think checking any other location. Well, there's not really anything else he can check. Like, he's obviously not checking Shack Tool or Plasma. So, Tony's just beelining for Turing at this point. Wave also saves time with down back skip. That's true, but it doesn't save the time it takes to pick it up even off of that. Because Tony will have the ammo to just do remorph zep skip. I'm not denying it's a great beam. Every item in Super Metroid has its place.
Should be a relatively quick fight with all these supers.
Mm-hmm.
Tony just missing the jump up, but they'll be able to get up pretty easily enough. SpeedRun is going to make a couple more checks.
Yeah, we saw that X-ray earlier. It was never going to be useful.
No.
But yeah, that should be a pretty decent finish time. This week has had some really fast finishes.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just the Chozo settings that encourage that, but although this seed, I mean, this seed could have been a real troll. Both runners making the call to go to wreck ship.
Yeah.
And finding gravity too.
Yeah, it would not have been a fast seed for me.
It would have only been a fast seed for me if I felt like my opponent was heavily favored and I needed something, you know.
Yeah, I wonder what the fastest time this week is.
I could have used this seed this week. Instead, I got a jet seed, and that was not favorable for me.
Oh.
That's totally fine.
Who's your opponent?
Apathy Duck.
Ooh,
he
that's
might
rough.
have the fastest run so far. His time was 42:59.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was an Uber jet seed.
I thought my 48 was fast.
I think we were at go mode almost by alpha power bombs.
Wow.
Okay, we found something. Let's see. I think we found speed at Spazer, and then we found one other thing after that, and it was just, yeah, it was very fast.
mrddraig is skipping Baltoon. And
Another runner wanting to see Baltoon today.
Yeah, is just about through these Metroid rooms.
We do have the health for the stand-up glitch. Let's see if they want to risk it. It's free until you screw it up.
Alright, Tony's not going for baby skip. I respect that. Especially here without wave. It doesn't save nearly as much time.
That's a great point. I've seen the baby skip done where a power bomb was laid in the middle of jump roping the baby. But that's pretty tricky. Definitely lose a lot more time trying to go for it than just taking the early grab. Tony opting for the standard refill. He could have gone for the crystal flash refill, but I don't know. Every time I go for that in practice, something goes wrong. I do not trust that personally.
Yeah, agreed. Plus the ammo is not great for it.
True. It's enough ammo, but not comfy enough. And just, I don't know, what does it save, like 4 seconds or something? I don't think it saves a significant amount of time.
Crystal Flash refill is pretty popular in GT Classic. It's actually really scary in Rando because Mother Brain stands up immediately.
Oh, right. That's right.
And Tony's going for this down back zeb skip. Without wave, that's difficult because you don't get the standard setup. And if you don't have that normal setup, sometimes it just doesn't work. I don't understand why. Nice.
Yeah.
No, it's not a CF right after the baby. You kill Mother Brain 1, and then before she rises, you CF. You finish damaging down in the lava. So, like, right here is where Tony would be CFing. However, Mother Brain immediately pops up, as opposed to the, I believe, 8 seconds it takes in vanilla.
Yeah, definitely something when you want to practice if you're going to go for that in a rando.
Mm-hmm. Nice KO through the sand from mrddraig. Missing that KO through the sand, it feels bad, but it's just as bad for your time. It really does cost you seconds. Alright, and a clean fight there for Tony.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice time. This is bordering on sub-hour, isn't it?
I'm terrible with times.
Me too.
It should be, yeah.
And he is going for stand-up glitch, so he can save some time here as well. I do not like these wall jumps, though. Is he wall jumping there, or is that just me? He has to be. He doesn't have space jump.
Yeah.
He did stop right before the baby came out. Maybe he's aware of it. You do not want to be changing poses when the baby comes on screen.
Yeah, it's not certain death, but it is. It can be certain get hit.
Can you end up sliding into Mother Brain though?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, so it's not certain death, but there is a chance of death.
Yeah. There's a chance you get hit, and there's a chance you slide into Mother. There's a chance you slide into Mother Brain, get hit, and that takes you out of the pose. There's a chance you slide into Mother Brain and instantly get got.
And I think there's a chance you can get stuck facing right, and then you get the really slow cutscene. You gotta like item cancel through or whatever. In summary, just one simple jump before the brain comes on is all you need. Just a straight jump. No spinning. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. Sephi, the next race is in 2 minutes. I hope you can wait that long. Alright. And Mother Brain 3, excuse me, goes down. So it's like a minute and a half out from here. So, yeah, it should be like a little bit before 59:30, depending on how escape goes.
SpeedGaming starting his Metroid rooms. Remember, he's got Ice Beam.
And it's one of those nice places where you bombs actually does really help. Like, I remember in my race, and I do this all the time, I was like, alright, I'll just go for the grouping strat on the Metroids. And then I realized I don't have bombs. Oh, Tony!
He just sparked too quickly there. It's like two positions that don't work, but I think it's if you push down and then immediately try to spark up before you're fully crouched that happens.
And he will be finishing in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 59 minutes and 23 seconds. GG. mrddraig's gonna be like 5 to 7 minutes behind that.
Yeah, not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just unfortunately, both runners did almost the exact same route, other than the high jump being a late pickup versus early pickup.
All right, and we are joined now by Tony. GG.
Thanks.
How are you feeling about that one?
I felt good. For most of it. I felt bad about the Dragon fight. I felt like I probably should have went down before going to grade, just to get extra minors and just extra majors,
Mm-hmm.
just in case that boss was with me. But other than that, I felt pretty good about my route. Um, I'm so I think I saw two E tanks, and maybe a reserve in the chosen location. So I thought the seed wanted me to go to Upper Norfair for Avaria, but then it was just in Rex ship. And I thought about bailing Rex ship, but I'm really glad I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really interesting. Both you and mrddraig went Rex ship, which I was not expecting because I also thought the seed really expected you to go to Norfair. But, congrats on making the correct decision there.
Yeah, that's something that I think I just started doing that recently. I did a practice seed where I thought, it's probably better to go down after checking alpha peeps, but I did another race where Kraid was up at Fantoon and Barry was behind Kraid. So I thought, well, maybe it's better to get the information on this boss and then head down. I still don't know what the best answer is, but for this seed, it turned out to be the correct choice.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you really couldn't have routed this better, except for maybe leaving Kraid for later.
Yeah, I thought the time difference. So I felt good fighting both suits in Rex ship. So I thought the time difference would have been just the routes. Maybe mrddraig went down, but
you two followed mostly the same routes. Probably the biggest thing was mrddraig either forgot or intentionally decided to put off high jump boots until later. So he was checking ammo all throughout Lower Norfair and Upper Norfair, as well as he checked the two Chozo items there, Speed and Wave, and didn't really find anything.
Yeah, I would have checked Speed and Wave for like Plasma, Space Jumper, Wave, but because of my Dragon fight, I needed to get out of there.
Oh, that makes sense. You definitely had the items to continue on.
Yeah, so with this, I believe you will be moving on to 2-1.
Yeah. I don't think any record is safe in this tournament. I think
It's
80 to 90%
really
of
true.
the players are really strong, so it doesn't matter what your record is. You're gonna face tough opponents.
Yeah, 2-1, definitely some scary names in there, though.
I agree with what you said. There's just, no matter what bracket you're in, it seems like there's danger lurking.
Yeah. But yeah, this tournament's been a lot of fun. This is, I guess my first SM Rando tournament. I entered SGL, but yeah, I haven't done like I didn't qualify for SGL first of all, and yeah, I haven't really gotten to do like multiple weeks of SM. So this has been a lot of fun. I don't know a lot of the names, but I do know that all the players are really strong, and I've been watching most of the matches, and it looks scary out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the SG Live one was also area rando, right? For that qualifier.
It was last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I really find the area rando a lot of fun. Looking forward to. I think it's not till week 5 that we get some more area rando in.
I think next week we have we have random start vanilla map, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's right.
which does have
Yeah.
its own wrinkles. We definitely want to look up all the possible start locations. Except Meridia, you don't have to worry about Meridia. And I think they took out like G4 as well.
Hmm.
There's 1 or 2 more that they aren't there because it's a vanilla start or something.
Yeah. Which week are you, or maybe were you the most excited for?
I like all the area weeks. The closer the map gets to vanilla, the more afraid I am, because I think I have a movement disadvantage against most of the players in this tournament, and the closer the map is to vanilla, I think routing alone isn't gonna help me.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know you're a big like SMZ3 player, and
Yeah,
I guess there's a little bit of similarity there with Area Rando. Like it's not
Yeah.
quite the same as the portals, but there's
Yeah,
something going on.
I think area is quite similar to cross keys.
Hmm.
I think it's easier to understand, but the complexity of I guess deciding your route is still very very interesting.
Nice. Well, it looks like mrddraig is going to be finishing up in just a second. Here, we'll see
Animals.
if,
One final
open
detour, I guess.
Oh. Well, guess it's justified when you're in second place. But yeah, certainly congrats on the win. Hopefully we can get mrddraig in here in just a second. You two did have really similar routes, which was really interesting. Both going up wreck ship. Here we are, and mrddraig has finished with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 57 seconds. GG. Alright, looks like he... Alright, and we are joined now by mrddraig. GG.
Oh, thank you. GG Tony.
GG, mrddraig.
It was that was a fun seed. I really enjoyed it, but I'm also slightly disappointed in myself. I made the clearly foolish decision to go croc route to lower Norfair, and that didn't work out. Ended up on an ammo hunt. Oh.
Yeah, that really was a big decision maker. I think, you were a bit behind at that point. I think mostly just movement and the difference of a couple minor item checks, but that really changed the look of the race.
Some of the decisions you made did pay off pretty well, though. Going to wreck ship,
Mhm.
it's just Tony made the same call.
Yeah, there was a point, probably when I found out where Ridley was, where I thought to myself, okay, if Tony went up, I might be screwed. If Tony went down, this is going to be a good seed. And it was a good seed regardless, but yeah, GG Tony, hell of a race.
GG to you as well. I was we were chatting in race time earlier. I think I was contemplating doing meme route, but without early supers, I didn't want to potentially isolate Spore Spawn, and I think we were talking that we both thought that Spore Spawn would have been the first supers in this seed.
I was getting very paranoid about that, yes. I was. I did not fancy fighting Spore Spawn. It's been a very long time since I've seen Spore Spawn.
I'd forgotten about that route divergence. That was mrddraig went down to check the Eticoons.
Mhm.
just to avoid that spore spawn fight.
Yeah,
So
I thought
Tony
about that as
proceeded
well. I thought about that as well, but at that point, I thought, well, there has to be a super on Echozo somewhere. Maybe I can afford skipping Spore Spawn, or maybe I'll find a super somewhere else. And thankfully, there was that charge, and I guess there was another one right before Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like then yeah, exactly. Like you said, the exact reason I went to visit the Eticums was to attempt to avoid having to have to fight Spore Spawn. I was like, oh please, please don't make me fight Spore Spawn. It's like, it doesn't matter how many missiles you give me, it's gonna be like a 10-turn, 10-cycle fight. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty deep tech involved in fighting Spore Spawn. It's not a simple fight.
No, it's not. And I mean, this is only the third seed I've done since the end of Rando League 3. The previous two being Race Week 1 and Race Week 2. I was hoping to have more time to practice, but real life stuff comes up. And to be honest, I spent I think probably about half hour to 45 minutes this seed being like, please give me area back. I want area back. Like, area is the great equalizer, whether you like it or not. You know, it's all down to decision making, even if you've got the movement.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Or wait, is that finishing rate actually correct, or is that one of those things that's changed with Varia?
I have no idea. I'm going to. I mean, I'm guessing from the tone of this conversation that Tony didn't pick up anywhere near as much ammo as I did.
No, they're both the
not.
same. They're both the same finishing percentages, so
Yeah, that's what I mean.
don't think that's right.
Tony had a lot more energy tanks. That must be it. I wasn't expecting that either.
How many supers
that's
did you get?
I had 25 or 30 max.
No, there's no way those are right then. Because I had 70 supers, and that's like there's 8 energy tanks I didn't get. So unless you've got 14 energy tanks,
I think he got 9 plus 2 reserves. Is that right?
I think it was 8 plus 2.
8 plus 2.
Yeah. So
And you had Spazer because you found it at X-Ray.
right.
That was another minor route divergence there.
oh, I did think about X-ray as I went past it. And I was like, nope, don't want it. Don't want to.
Yeah, on my way up to Red Tower, I was gonna save at Red Tower if like Ridley or Dragon was at Wreck Ship. I was gonna reset and turn off high jump and do like the D boost, and then I found speed down there. So I haven't had a seed where X-ray D boost would have made or broken the seed.
I haven't either, and I'm very glad of that because I am. Like I was very inconsistent with it at best when I was playing Super Metroid nearly daily, and yeah, I would not feel in any way confident going for it at the moment.
It's unfortunate there's not a great place to save near that check. Just a lot to lose if you miss it.
Yeah,
a lot to gain if it's Varia. It seems like it's been Varia a lot in this tournament.
With Chozo, it makes some sense to go up and check that Chozo first. But I agree. If there's like a save like right above it, that would be perfect.
All right, looks like Stratlog did the math, and yeah, you two just happened to have the same item collection percent, just with very different items.
That's just wild.
But yeah,
guys, thank you for the interview. I am going to shoot off because I really want to try and catch some of this match over on SpeedGaming before I have to go to bed. But thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to you guys for commentating. I don't remember the name of who is tracking. I think it was DWeb or Dweb. I'm not sure how we are pronouncing that. Apologies for whichever one is incorrect. But yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a good one.
GG's again.
Yeah, GG to you again, dude.
Awesome. Well, that's gonna do it for us here at Speed Gaming. Be sure to go follow both of the runners, go follow tonytyoung, go follow mrddraig, and if you would be so kind, follow the broadcast team as well. I've been Glove on comms, joined by Idlechild, and we've had Dweb on tracking. And with everything else out of the way, we'll see you next mission.